بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله سيد الأولين والآخرين مدد درس مدد سادات أصحاب مدد مشاهد الرسول وعشان الله فرزات شافا من الله. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم اجعل آخر صلاتكم بالليل وترا. Peygamber sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem buyuruyor ki geceleyin en son kıldığın namaz vitir olsun diyor.
Our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, says, let the last prayer you perform at night be the Witr prayer.
Kılınan namazların en sonu vitir olur tabii.
Among all the prayers performed, the last prayer should be the Witr prayer.
قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أمرت بالوتر والضحى ولم يعزم علي. Peygamber sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem buyuruyor ki ben vitir ve kuşluk namazı kılmakla emrolundum.
Our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, says, I was commanded to perform the Witr and the Duha prayers.
Ancak bunlar bana farz kılınmadı. Yani bunlar kılan Peygamber Efendimizin yolunda aynı şeyde fazileti kazanır. Yani bunlar vitir zaten vaciptir de duha kuşluk namazı sünnettir.
And those who perform the prayers of Witr and Duha will gain great virtue by performing these prayers and following the path of our Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. Witr is wajib, and the Duha prayer, the forenoon prayer, is sunnah to perform.
Onu kılan bütün günün sadakasını vermiş gibi olur. Yani.
And those who perform these two prayers are considered as if they had given a charity for that entire day.
قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أمرت بالوتر وركعتي الضحى ولم يكتب عليكم. Peygamber sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem buyuruyor ki ben vitir namazı ve 2 rekat kuşluk namazını kılmakla emrolundum.
Our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, says, I was commanded to perform the Witr prayers, the Witr prayer and 2 rakats of Duha prayer.
Ancak bunlar farz kılınmadı diyor. Yani bunlar size farz değildir. Peygamber Efendimiz içindir.
And our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, says that while I was commanded, and while I have been commanded to perform the Witr prayer and the Duha prayer, these prayers are not fard upon you.
Bunlar ona emredi, emir onadır.
This command to perform the Witr prayer and the Duha prayer are for the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him.
Bize farz değildir. Vitir bizim vaciptir.
It is not fard for us. The prayer of Witr and the prayers of Duha are not fard for us. However, to perform Witr is wajib upon us.
Kuşluk namazı da sünnettir.
And the Duha prayer is a sunnah to perform.
İster 2 rekattan 12 rekata kadar kılabilir.
And one may perform the Duha prayer ranging from 2 rakat up to 12 rakat.
Kâle Resulullah sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem el vitru bil leyl. Peygamber sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem buyuruyor. Vitir namazı gece kılınır.
Our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, says that the Witr prayer is to be performed at night.
Yani o 3 rekat namaz gecedir. Gece namazı.
Those 3 rakats are to be performed at night.
Yatsıdan sonra kılınan namazdır. Gündüz değil.
Witr is performed at night after one has performed Isha prayer. So Witr is not to be performed during the day.
قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إن الله تعالى قد أمدكم بصلاة هي خير لكم من حمر النعم الوتر جعلها الله لكم فيما بين صلاة العشاء إلى أن يطلع الفجر. Peygamber sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem buyuruyor ki şüphesiz ki Yüce Allah Azze ve Celle size 5 vakit namazınıza bir namaz daha ilave etti.
Our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, says, undoubtedly, Allah Almighty has added another prayer for your 5 daily prayers.
Bu namaz sizin için kırmızı develerden daha hayırlıdır.
And this prayer is better for you than red camels.
Yani o zamanın vaktinde kızıl develer, kırmızı deve en kıymetli şeydir. Yani o
In those times, red camels were the most valuable possession.
namaz onlardan hayırlıdır diyor Peygamber sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem.
And our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, says that prayer is better than having red camels. To perform witr is more valuable.
Kıymetlidir. Bu vitir namazıdır ki Allah onu sizin için yatsı ile sabah namazı arasına yerleştirmiştir.
This prayer that is more valuable than red camels is the Witr prayer, our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, says, which Allah Almighty has placed for you between the Isha and the morning prayers.
Yani yatsıdan sonra sabaha kadar sabah namazı olmadan önce kullanabilir.
So Witr prayer is to be performed after the Isha prayer, and you have time to perform it until morning, right before the morning prayer.
Ama yatmadan önce daha iyi olur.
But it is better to ensure to have performed Witr prayer and to perform Witr before going to sleep.
Yatıp da kalkıp da kılacağım desen uykuya dalabilirsin ama onun için son namaz vitir olsun.
Because if you say, I will sleep and then wake up for Witr, you may run the danger of actually missing Witr prayer. So let your last prayer after Isha be the Witr prayer.
قال الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم إن الله تعالى وتر يحب الوتر. Peygamber sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem buyuruyor ki şüphesiz Allah tektir, teki sever.
Our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, says, Allah Almighty is one, and He loves the oneness.
Yani Allah birdir. O tek dedin, tek rakamları 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 öyle o şeyleri.
Allah Almighty is one, and He loves the oneness, and among the numbers, Allah Almighty loves those numbers which cannot be divided by two, such as 1, 3, 5, 7, 9.
Allah Azze ve Celle onları sever.
Allah Almighty loves those.
قال الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم إن الله تعالى وتر يحب الوتر فأوتروا يا أهل القرآن. Peygamber sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem buyuruyor ki şüphesiz ki Allah tektir ve teki sever. Ey Kur'an ehli tek rekatlı vitir namazını kılın.
Our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, says, Allah Almighty is one, and He loves oneness and the numbers that those cannot be divided by two. And our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, continues to say that, O people of the Quran, perform that prayer, that Witr prayer, which consists of one rakah.
Yani bu bütün namazlar çift olur.
All other prayers are performed in pairs, consisting of 2 rakahs.
2 rekat olur, 4 rekat, 2.
All other prayers are performed in pairs. They either consist of 2 rakahs or of 4 rakahs.
Rekat. Vitirde onun Allah Azze ve Celle sevdiği namazı de en son kılınan namaz 3 rekat olur.
And since the prayer of Witr is the prayer which Allah Almighty loves, it is the prayer which is to be performed, which is the last prayer to be performed. And since Allah Almighty loves the numbers that cannot be divided by 2, it is performed as 3 rakats. And that single rakah that is performed additionally, that is the Witr prayer.
Şafilerde değişik olur. Onlar da vitir olur. 2 rekat kılıyorlar. Ondan sonra selam verip tek rekat kılıyor. O da vitirdir. Şafii olarak.
And according to the Shafi madhab, they also perform the Witr prayer. And they perform the Witr prayer by first performing 2 rakats. Then they give salam. And then they rise to perform a single rakat, which is then the Witr. And this is according to the Shafi method.
Hanefi olarak bizim kıldığımız 3 rekattır hep beraber.
And according to the Hanafi method, which we follow, we perform witr as 3 rakats.
قال Resulullah sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem innemel vitru billeyl. Peygamber sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem buyuruyor ki vitir namazı ancak gece kılınır.
Our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, says that the witr prayer is only performed at night.
Yani gündüz olmaz, geceleyin o vitir namazı kılınır.
It cannot be performed during the day. Witr prayer is the prayer that is meant to be performed at night.
قال Resulullah sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem اَوْتُرُوا قَبْلَ أَنْ تُصْبِحُوا. Peygamber sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem buyuruyor sabahleyin, sabahtan önce vitir namazınızı kılın.
Our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, says, perform your witr prayer right before dawn breaks.
Yani sabah namazına okunmadan, olmadan o vitri kılın.
Perform the witr prayer before the adhan for the morning prayer is called.
En iyisi de yani sabaha bırakmadan şeyden sonra kalırsa yatmadan önce, olmasa yatsıdan sonra doğru da kalın.
And the safest way is to not leave the witr prayer for the morning, because one may oversleep and then miss it. Therefore, one should perform it before going to bed, before going sleeping, or one may perform it directly after Isha.
قال Resulullah sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem bâdiru subha bil vitr. Peygamber sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem sabahlamada önce vitir namazını kılmakla acele ediniz.
Our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, says, hasten to perform the witr prayer before morning comes.
Yani sabah olmadan önce, sabah okunursa artık vitir geçmiş olur onun fazileti.
Because if the adhan for the morning prayers are cited, the time for witr and its virtue will have passed.
قال Resulullah sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem ثلاث هن علي فريضة وهن لكم تطوع الوتر وركعتا الضحى وركعتا الفجر. Peygamber sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem buyuruyor ki 3 şey vardır ki bunlar bana farz.
Our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, says that there are 3 things which are fard, obligatory for me.
Namaz var. Onlar da Peygamber sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem farzdır.
There are the 5 daily prayers, which are fard, which are obligatory for the prophets.
Size nafile kalın. Nafile dedi sünnettir. Sünnet ya.
And there are also prayers which are sunnah, which one may do voluntarily.
Vacip.
And then there are also prayers which are wajib.
Birinci vitir namazı. Peygamber ona farzdır. Hanefi mezhebine göre vaciptir.
And one prayer that is fard for the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and which is wajib for us according to the Hanafi method, it is the witr prayer.
Başka mezheplerde vacip olmadığı için sünnettir ama sünnet-i müekkededir.
So witr prayer is a prayer which is fard for the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and which is for us wajib according to the Hanafi method. In other schools, witr is not wajib, it is sunnah. It is sunnah muakkada.
Onlara göre. 2 rekat kuşluk namazı. O da nafiledir. Ve sabahın 2 rekat sünneti. O sabah sünneti de sünnet-i müakkede. Onu muhakkak kılmak lazım.
And in addition to witr prayer, there's also the duha prayer, which is also a sunnah prayer, which is a voluntary additional prayer. And then in addition to that, there are two sunnah rakats before the fard prayer of the morning prayer.
Vacibe yakındır ama sünnet-i müakkede onu bırakmamak lazım.
And to perform 2 rakats of sunnah prayer before the fard part of the morning prayer, it is very close to wajib. Those 2 rakats sunnah of the morning prayer are very close to wajib, and they are sunnah muakkada.
قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم صلاة الليل مثنى مثنى فإذا خشى أحدكم الصبح صلى ركعة واحدة Tüytür lehu ma kad sallah. Peygamber sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem buyuruyor ki gece namazı ikişerdir. İki rekat kılınır.
Our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, says that the night prayer is to be performed in pairs of two. It is to be performed as two rakats at a time.
Sizden biri sabah namazının vaktinin geçmesinden korkarsa son olarak bir rekat kılar.
And then when you fear that the morning prayer will arrive, then perform one additional single rakah as the last one.
Bu onun daha önce kılmış olduğu rekatlarını tek yapmış olur.
And with this additional single one rakah, you will ensure that the rakats you have performed previously become odd-numbered.
Tabi bu dediğimiz gibi şimdi hadis-i şerifler okuduğumuz vakit yani o kendi ben bunu okudum, bunu böyle yapacağım diye olmaz. Sen onun manasını imamlar, mezhep imamları, alimler onu izah etmiş, göstermiş.
And what is important to note here is that when we read these blessed hadiths of our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, one cannot say, I read this, so I will do it this way, based on their own minds. No, one must follow the schools of thought, and one must follow the Islamic schools of jurisprudence, the madhabs, and the explanations of the imams of the madhabs, and the way the scholars have explained it. And they must apply these hadith according to those schools of thought, to those madhabs, and apply them as they have been demonstrated by these madhabs. And one must not do things based on their own minds because they read something and then they act based on how they read it, but they must first consult with how it should be understood and how it should be practiced according to the schools of jurisprudence, according to the methods.
Tek rekat Şafiler için, Hanefi için dediğimiz gibi Witr namazı 3 rekat beraber olacak.
So again, while we have read these hadith, we must make clear that to perform Witr prayer as a single rakat is according to the Shafi method. When you follow the Hanafi method, Witr prayer consists of 3 rakats.
صدق رسول الله فيما قال أو كما قال زيادة إلى شرف النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وأصحابه الكرام وإلى أرواح جميع الأنبياء والمرسلين قدماء الشرائعين وإلى أرواح الأئمة الأربعة وإلى أرواح مشايخنا في طريقة النقشبندية العلية خاصة إمام طريقة غوث الخليفة خواجة بهاء الدين محمد ويسير البخاري سيدنا أبو الخالق الجواني مولانا الشيخ شرف الدين داوسان مولانا الشيخ عبد الله فاز داوسان محمد الحقاني وسائر ساداتنا الصديقين الشيخ شهداء من حضر جواره الله تعالى الفاتحة.